Good day to our research instructor, Mr. Ryan Bernido. And I am Victor Ibrada, and I would like to greet you all a pleasant day. We will be presenting Chapter 1 to 3 entitled The Cause and Effect of Language Reading for Grade 4 students in Karugkog Elementary School. Together with my group mates, Mr. Jobert Tabilo, Mr. Rafi Araojo, Miss Irma Balubar, and Miss Chris Malin Balidoy. For the introduction, here is Jobert Tabilo.
Thank you, Mr. Ibrada. And this is the background of study of our research. Reading is a part of daily life. As we know, that reading is very important to enjoy reading and upskills or English learning. It gives many differences to know unfamiliar words we encounter through reading. Reading is the most important component tools to communicate with others. Reading language skills is one of 4 language skills in English besides listening, speaking, and writing. Reading ability is needed by the students for facing both local and national tests of English tested in written form. So the teaching readings should be learned earlier since kindergarten until the higher education level. Reading is the ability of an individual recognizing a visual form to associate the form with the sound of meaning acquired in the past. On the past experience, understand and interpret its meaning. Based on the explanation, reading is an individual ability and understanding and finding the message written by the researcher. Reading language comprehensions is one of the difficult one of us. Reading is often considered as difficult skills. The learner cannot get reading achievements, which is the most important aspects in reading comprehension, especially in English. This is the duty of teacher to solve the problem. They have to show how to teach as well so learners can understand reading materials given. It is very important increasing the knowledge of the learners. Reading is one of the important skills in English and gives many benefits for us. Reading is a window of the world. By reading, people can get more knowledge and information. From many aspects like books, magazines, newspapers, and other that we read, reading is the most important component in learning process and social interaction because reading is an indispensable communication tool in civil society. That reading materials produced in any period of time in history most influenced by background developments that over period of recorded history of reading has led to different rules. For the continuation of this introduction, he is Victor Ibrada.
Thank you, Mr. Tabilo. Through the reading activity, the students can enlarge their knowledge and it can also make them wise and respectful. Students' reading ability must be developed. Teachers have duties to develop their skills and ability. Everything teachers do in reading class should be designed to build students' ability to understand accurately complex context of the text. The methods, techniques, teaching media that is chosen and used by the teachers will influence the success of teaching learning process and students' achievement. In the teaching reading activities, a good method, media, and strategy are needed in the research. A good method can be an effort of the students' reading ability better. Media and strategy also make the class to be alive during the reading lesson. By developing good method, technique, and media, students are expected to be able to have an active learning. Active learning can make the students interested in the reading lesson that given to them not only silent or passive in the teaching and learning process. In reading learning process, the students must have understand what the content of text gets the information from it. Reading is the process to transfer the science from book to brain, from writer to reader. In these informations will not be received with the readers if they did not understand what the content of the text. Other problem in reading is lack of vocabularies and also pronunciation. From that many problems, they will have an opinion that English learning is the reading skill. The students know from their test results that they always fail in the reading text. These matters will out from the goal of teaching learning. The solution of these problems is that the teacher should know more about approach, method, and strategy in learning English, as the method will support the teaching learning more effective. Based on the explanations above, the writer wants to use a context clue strategy as a teaching technique. Context clues are informations in the text which can be used to help deduce the meaning of a known vocabulary word within the text context. Clues are words, pictures, graphs, tables, and side notes, all of which might be included in the text. Context clues can be clear and direct the reader easily to the meaning of the word. Clear context clues will provide information about definition or synonyms of a word. This strategy is appropriate to make the students understand about the words, paragraph, or text because they know about the definitions of example about the words, phrase, paragraph, or text. The students will get more detailed information about the text and can understand it easily. It will help students to understand to become an expert of reading text. The advantage for the teachers is they will get a new knowledge about teaching method and improve the teaching learning process and make the study more attractive. Consequently, it will improve the students' motivations in reading. Reading comprehension skills is a fundamental skill to obtain further academic learning success. To get further knowledge, the college students are required to have critical and analytical competence in comprehending academic texts. In searching more information through various types of reading materials such as textbooks, journals, reports, or electronic messages. However, not all students are good at comprehending the text being read. Most of them understand the information of the text. In other words, they are good in decoding the text but struggling to comprehend what the underlying meaning and purpose beyond the text. As ascertain that the level of questions students generates correlate to the level of comprehension achievements. The statement of the problem, here is Mr. Rafi Arao.
Thank you, Mr. Brada. For the statement of the problem, general problem. What are the learning skills that are useful for reading? Specific problem. How does it contribute to be successful in the reading? Which instructional activities are helpful for providing knowledge, promoting reading, use, etc. What are the facts to be considered for reading that would help for student? Can this improve the ability in reading? What would be the advantage of learning these benefits of reading for students? Scope and delimitation. Scope. There are some of reading such as reading guide, context clue strategies, but I am using the context clue strategies as the reading learning for the grade 4 in Karugog Elementary School delimitation. This study does not include who are not enrolled in the grade 4 in Karugog Elementary School. Importance of the study. The expected of benefit of this study, grade 4 students. Student is the number one important to give benefit from this study to gain knowledge for the student, to make students enjoyable, and it's helpful for the student learning process to improve their reading. Teacher. The teacher is easily adapting another way for the student to develop the reading comprehension. Karugog Elementary School give the useful and improved quality education to develop the language reading for grade 4 students. Researcher. The researcher will improve knowledge in teaching reading to perceive reading by intellection, the importance of the study. For the research design, here is Miss Irma Balobat.
Thank you, Mr. Araujo, for research design. The research design was used to study the cause and effect of language reading for grade 4 students. It involves the ability comprehension and reading context clue strategies. It focuses for the reading condition and how the student function in the present of the study. It has a differentiate type that involves of the study by the language reading. Sources of data. The sources of data are the students' group study. The language reading was conducted. These students were grouped according to their profile and the answer was analyzed separately, then statistically to find out whether there were differences in their opinions that presented. Respondents. Grade 4 students of Karugkog Elementary School. Instrumentation and validation. The researcher used to the guide and gather the cause and effect of language reading for grade 4A student in Karugkog Elementary School. It helps to guide a student for their profile of being a reader. In this study, we aim in building and validating an instrument to assess the language reading with the purpose of characterizing the reading profile and detecting comprehension difficulties among students from the grade 4 student. For data gathering procedure is presented by Ms. Prismalid Palidoy.
Thank you, Ms. Balabor. Data gathering procedure. A letter request to the respondent was given to us, their full cooperation, and certainly that the information they'll provide will be treated with utmost confidentiality regarding to the study of the cause and effect of language. Reading for the grade 4 student in Karugkog Elementary School. These are factors occur that abstraction the researcher, distribution of the questionnaire. Therefore, the researcher distribute the materials to the respondent in the Karugkog Elementary School that they were interact or seen. This is perceived as a big chance by the researcher to the personally given the materials to the respondent. Statistical treatment of data. The data was treated statistically using the following. Number 1. Frequency count. This was used to determine the actual frequency of the students who belong to the particular group based on their profile. Number 2. Mean was used to find out the average of the variable of the student. Number 3. Ability of the level readiness to find out the opinion that used to find out and that they use to gather information. Number percentage was used to find the subgroup of the study. Number 5, establish the relationship between the profile of their observation about the cause and effect of language reading.
Thank you for listening on our virtual presentations entitled
The cause and effect of language reading for grade 4 students in Karugkog Elementary School.
That would be all. Thank you.